The alien medical station floated silently above a distant star. Clean, perfect, orderly. Inside its bright white halls, an alien doctor prepared for what he believed would be a very boring examination. The patient was human. The doctor adjusted his medical visor and looked at the human lying calmly on the table. The human was smaller than most species. Soft skin, no armor, no natural weapons. The doctor smiled. This one should not be alive, he said to his assistants. They laughed quietly. Human biology had been studied before, but never in detail. Humans were considered weak creatures from a low-risk world. Their planet had storms. Yes, but nothing advanced species could not handle easily. The doctor tapped the human's chest scan. Look at this, he said. Soft tissue everywhere. No protective plating. No energy core. He zoomed in on the skeleton. Calcium structure, he scoffed. Fragile, inefficient. Another assistant leaned closer. And the blood? She asked. The doctor waved a hand dismissively. Red fluid, iron-based. Primitive transport system. Completely outdated. More laughter followed. The human watched quietly. He had been warned this might happen. The doctor moved closer to the scanner. Begin full biological analysis. He ordered. The machine hummed to life. Lights moved over the human's body. Data streamed across the screens. At first, everything looked exactly as expected. Heart pumping, lungs breathing, brain active, nothing impressive. The doctor leaned back. As predicted, he said. A biological mess that somehow keeps moving. He turned to his assistants. This species survives by luck. That was when the first alert appeared. A soft tone, then another. The doctor frowned. That's odd, he muttered. He stepped closer to the screen. The scanner highlighted the human. Blood. Iron concentration flashed in yellow, then orange, then red. The doctor blinked. That's not right, he said. He checked the settings. Iron at that level should be toxic, lethal. The doctor laughed again. The scanner must be wrong, he said. Run it again. The machine repeated the test. Same result, iron-rich blood, high oxygen transport, extreme oxidative stress. The doctor's smile faded slightly. That amount of oxygen would destroy most cellular systems, he said slowly. One assistant whispered, yet the human is stable. The doctor felt a strange feeling in his chest. Confusion. The scanner continued. Bone density readings appeared. The doctor leaned forward again. Interesting, he said. The bones were dense, very dense. Not brittle, compressed and reinforced by constant stress. The doctor zoomed in. Microfractures. Healed, repeatedly. Stronger than before. His fingers tightened around the console. Why would a species evolve like this? He asked. No one answered. Another alert sounded. Pain response, the scanner measured. Neural signals? The results made the doctor stare. Humans processed. Pain constantly. Not as an emergency. As background noise. Impossible. The doctor whispered. Pain was supposed to stop movement. Humans functioned inside it. The doctor cleared his throat. Show immune system, he ordered. The screen changed. What appeared made the room go quiet. The human immune response was violent, aggressive. It attacked everything it did not recognize, sometimes even itself. This is not balance, the doctor said softly. This is war. The assistant swallowed. They fight their own bodies.
They win.
The doctor looked back at the human dot. The human met his gaze. Calmly, no fear, no pride, just patience. The doctor felt something shift inside him. He had laughed at this species. He had called them weak, yet their bodies told a different story. A story of constant damage, constant repair, constant survival. The doctor stepped away from the console. This scan is incomplete, he said quietly. But not because the machine is wrong. His assistants waited. He spoke again. It's incomplete because I don't understand the world that made this. The human finally spoke. Earth. He asked. The doctor nodded slowly. Yes, he replied. What kind of planet forces life? To become this, the scanner beeped again. One final message appeared on the screen. Subject classified. Extreme biological survivor. The doctor stared at it. The laughter from earlier felt distant now. Very distant. The results that refused to change the alien doctor stood very still. The medical scanner continued to hum softly. Unaware that it had just shaken the confidence of one of the station's most respected experts. This result is incorrect. The doctor said at last. He straightened his coat and turned sharply to his assistants. Reset the system, he ordered. Full reboot, clean scan. No assumptions. The assistants moved quickly. The human patient remained calm on the table, hands resting at his sides, breathing evenly. He had seen this look before. The look of someone realizing they were wrong, but not ready to admit it. The scanner powered down. Lights dimmed for a brief moment. The room felt empty. Then the machine came back online. The doctor folded his arms. Begin scan, he said again. The light swept over the human body once more. Data flowed across the screens, numbers stacking neatly into rows and charts. At first, everything looked normal again. The doctor exhaled slowly. There, he said. System error resolved. But then the same warnings appeared. Iron levels, critical. Oxygen tolerance, extreme. Cellular stress, constant. The colors changed. Yellow, orange, red. Again the doctor's jaw tightened. That is not possible, he muttered. One assistant leaned forward carefully. Doctor, she said, the results are identical. The doctor snapped his head toward her. Machines repeat errors, he said sharply. They do not repeat truth. He leaned over the console and ran the scan manually this time, bypassing safety filters and correction algorithms. If the scanner was wrong, this would expose it. Instead, the data became clearer, more detailed, more disturbing. The screen highlighted human red blood cells. The doctor enlarged the image. The cells were packed tightly, optimized for oxygen transport. But oxygen destroys proteins. The doctor whispered. He turned to another display. Human organs showed signs of constant repair, not damage from disease. Damage from daily life, gravity strain, atmospheric pressure, chemical exposure. Why are they always repairing? He asked aloud. No one answered. Another alert appeared. Adrenal response. High, BASCLAI. The doctor blinked. Baseline. That meant the human body treated stress chemicals as normal, not emergency. Normal. This species lives under constant stress, the doctor said slowly. His voice had changed. The laughter was gone. He pulled up a comparison. Chart. Alien biology, next to human biology. The difference was shocking. Alien systems aimed for balance. Human systems aimed for survival. Aliens avoided damage. Humans absorbed it. The doctor turned to the human. "How long do your kind live?" he asked. The human tilted his head slightly. "Depends," he said. "Some make it far, some don't." The doctor frowned. "That is not an answer," he said. The human shrugged. "Our bodies break," he said simply. "We fix them, or we die." The room went quiet. The scanner moved to the nervous system. Pain signals lit up the screen like a storm. The doctor stepped back. "Why is there so much activity?" He asked that. The assistant swallowed. "That's baseline," she said quietly. "He isn't injured." The doctor stared. Pain, for most species, meant stop. For humans, it meant continue. "That is not biology," the doctor said. "That is endurance." He ordered a stress simulation. A controlled one. The scanner increased stimulus levels. Slowly, heat, pressure, noise. The human's heart rate rose, then stabilized. Stress. Chemicals flooded the bloodstream, then leveled off. "He is adapting," the assistant whispered. The doctor's hands trembled slightly. Living systems were not supposed to do that. The doctor stopped the test abruptly. "That's enough," he said. He looked at the human again, truly looked this time. "You feel all of this?" he asked. The human nodded. "All the time," he replied. "And you function?" the doctor asked. "Yes," the human said. "Most days." The doctor turned away. He felt something cold settle in his chest. Fear. This species was not poorly designed. It was designed by a world that did not care if life survived. And yet, it had. The doctor activated the final summary. The scanner processed for a long moment, then displayed a message none of them expected. "Warning. Human biology exceeds safe study parameters." The assistants exchanged looks. One asked quietly, "Doctor, what does that mean?" The doctor stared at the words. "It means," he said slowly, "we are not studying them." He looked back at the human. "They are studying us." The human raised an eyebrow. The doctor swallowed. For the first time, he admitted, "I don't know what I'm looking at." The screen flashed again. One final note appeared beneath the warning. Subject adapted to hostile environment. Doctor whispered the words, "Hostile environment?" His mind returned to a single question. If this was what humans looked like after surviving their world, what would they look like when threatened by someone else? The alien doctor did not leave the medical chamber after the scan ended. He stood in front of the main display, staring at the words as if they might change if he waited long enough. Subject adapted to hostile environment. Hostile. That word stayed in his mind. Most life forms were not adapted to hostility. They were protected from it, sheltered by stable climates, gentle gravity, and careful design. Humans were different. The doctor turned to his assistants. "Show me the environmental data of their homeworld," he said. The room shifted as a new hologram appeared. A blue planet filled the screen, Earth. At first glance, it looked beautiful. Oceans, clouds, green land. The doctor almost laughed again. Almost. "Begin breakdown," he ordered. The AI complied. Gravity appeared first, higher than galactic standard. The doctor frowned. That alone should cause long-term skeletal stress. He said the next data point appeared. Atmospheric pressure. High oxygen concentration. Very Hi. The doctor felt a small chill. Oxygen is reactive, he said slowly. It damages cells over time. He looked back at the scan. Human bodies were constantly repairing oxidative damage. Not avoiding it, enduring. It temperature ranges followed. Extreme heat, extreme cold. Sudden changes, then weather. Storms larger. Then cities. Winds that could tear metal apart. Floods, droughts. This world is unstable. One assistant whispered. The doctor nodded, and still they live on it. He said. The next layer appeared, life forms, predators. Filled the display. Fast, strong, venomous. Some were larger than vehicles, others were small but deadly. The doctor stared. These creatures hunt humans? He asked. Yes, the AI replied, and humans hunt them. Silence followed. Disease data came next. Viruses, bacteria, parasites, thousands of them. Many evolved quickly. Some attacked human systems directly. The doctor felt his chest tighten. These should have wiped them out, he said. But the scan showed something else. Human immune systems did not wait politely. They attacked aggressively, sometimes violently, sometimes so violently they damaged their own bodies. Yet humans survived. The doctor leaned back slowly. Why? He asked aloud. One assistant hesitated before answering. Because they had to, she said. The doctor returned to the human patient. The human sat up now. No restraints. No guards. Allowed. Trusted. A change the doctor had not even noticed happening. You evolved there, the doctor said. The human nodded. Double quotes, yes. The doctor struggled to find the right words. Your planet does not support life, he said. The human smiled faintly. It doesn't care about us, he replied. We learned that early. The doctor felt another shift inside him. He no longer saw weak organs. He saw armor made of flesh. Not smooth. Not perfect, but layered with scars and adaptation. The assistant interrupted softly. Doctor, the council is asking for your assessment. The doctor hesitated. Then he spoke carefully. Earth is a death world. He said. The room went quiet. That classification was rare. Extremely rare. Death worlds. Produced to outcomes, extinction or something? Very dangerous, the doctor continued. Humans did not evolve to be strong, he said. They evolved to not stop. That sentence changed everything. The council demanded more. What happens when humans are threatened? They asked. The doctor looked at the scan again. Stress response. Adrenal surge. Pain tolerance. They adapt faster, he said. They become more efficient. And if adaptation fails? The council asked. The doctor answered honestly. They push through anyway. That night, the doctor reviewed one final dataset. Human history, wars, disasters, near extinctions. Repeated over and over still, they survived. Not because they were Savitna, because they were gentle, but because they refused to stop. The doctor recorded his final statement. When I laughed at human biology, he said, I believed weakness meant fragility. He paused. I was wrong. Weakness meant exposure, and humans survived exposure longer than anyone else. He closed the file with trembling hands. For the first time in his long career, the doctor felt small. Not because humans were larger, but because they came from a world that never forgave mistakes. And they lived anyway. A final note appeared on his console. Recommendation: treat humans as equals. Not for kindness. For safety. The doctor stared at it, then nodded. Some lessons, he realized, only came after laughter. Stopped. The alien doctor did not return to his office after declaring Earth a death world. Instead, he stayed in the observation wing, watching the human through the transparent barrier. The human sat calmly, reading from a small handheld device. His breathing was steady, his heart rate normal. Nothing about him looked dangerous. That was the most unsettling part. The doctor replayed the scans again in his mind. Iron-rich blood. Aggressive immune response. Constant cellular repair. Pain treated like background noise. Human biology was not elegant. It was stubborn. The doctor finally entered the chamber. He moved slower this time. Careful. You are not restrained, he said to the human. The human looked up. I noticed. We removed them, the doctor replied. You were never a threat. The human smiled faintly. That depends, he said. To who? The doctor paused. That answer stayed with him. The doctor asked permission before beginning the next examination. That alone shocked his assistants. No one asked patients for permission on this station. The human nodded. Sure, he said. The doctor began gently this time. He measured grip strength. Higher than expected. Reaction speed? Faster under stress. Healing rate? Accelerated. The doctor frowned. You heal faster when injured, he said. The human shrugged. Wouldn't be much use otherwise. The doctor pulled up another test. Simulated environmental stress. The chamber temperature dropped sharply. The human shivered, then adjusted his posture. Muscles tightened. Blood flow changed. Within minutes, his body stabilized. The doctor raised the temperature next. Sweat formed quickly. Heart rate rose. Then leveled. Again. Adaptation, not comfort. Survival. The doctor stopped the test. That's enough, he said softly. He looked at the human. You live like this every day? He asked. The human nodded. Earth doesn't slow down for us, he said. So we don't slow down for it. The doctor felt something he had not felt in a long time. Respect. Later, the Alien Medical Council joined the doctor via hologram. Their faces were serious. You laughed at them, one counselor said. Yes, the doctor replied. And I regret it. That admission caused murmurs across the chamber. The doctor continued. Human biology is not broken, he said. It is forged. The word echoed. Forged. He explained everything. How humans evolved under constant pressure. How their bodies assumed pain and stress were normal. How their systems were built to fail and recover. They are not optimized for peace, he said. They are optimized for survival. One counselor asked quietly. What happens if they are pushed too far? The doctor answered honestly. They do not collapse, he said. They change. The council requested recommendations. The doctor did not hesitate. End the study, he said. Not because humans are dangerous. He paused. But because treating survivors like specimens is a mistake. Silence followed. That had never been said before. The human was escorted out of the medical wing later that day. No guards, no chains. Just open doors. As the human passed the doctor, he stopped. So, the human said, am I still a joke? The doctor looked him in the eyes. No, he said. You're a warning. The human smiled, but this time there was no humor in it. News of the classification spread quickly. Earth, confirmed death world. Humans, extreme survivors, alien networks buzzed with discussion. Some were afraid. Others were fascinated. Most were silent. That night, the doctor reviewed one last file. Human history. Disasters, wars, recoveries. A pattern emerged. Humans broke, then rebuilt. Again and again. And again. The doctor closed the file and recorded a final note. I laughed because I mistook gentleness for weakness, he said. He looked toward the stars. But now I understand. Humans were not gentle because they were weak. They were gentle because they had survived worse. As the station lights dimmed, the doctor felt certain of one thing. If the galaxy ever forced humans to stop being gentle, there would be no laughter left anywhere. There would be no laughter left anywhere. This led the reptiles to adapt to their specific habitats, and diversify, giving rise to many new dinosaur species. If the galaxy ever forced humans to stop being gentle, there would be no laughter left anywhere. The reaction did not stay inside the medical station for long. Within hours, the doctor's report reached the wider alien network. Councils, research guilds, military observers. Every major system received the same message. Earth, death world, humans, extreme biological survivors. At first, many refused to believe it. This must be exaggerated, some said. A single doctor, overreacting. But the data was there. Raw scans. Verified results. Repeated confirmations. The numbers did not lie. Human bodies were not balanced. They were resilient. On distant worlds, alien doctors gathered around shared screens. They watched recordings of human scans in silence. Iron-based blood that thrived on oxygen. Organs that repaired constant damage. Immune systems that attacked without mercy. One doctor whispered, "This biology should not exist." Another answered quietly, "And yet, it does." That unsettled them more than any weapon ever could. The Alien Medical Council called an emergency summit. For the first time in centuries, humans were not discussed as patients. They were discussed as a risk. Not because they were violent, but because they endured things that destroyed other species. One counselor spoke carefully. "If their bodies are like this by default," she said, "what happens when they are injured? Or desperate?" No one replied. The answer was already in the data. The alien doctor who had laughed was asked to speak again. This time, no one interrupted him. "When I first examined a human," he said, "I believed fragility meant weakness." He paused. "I was wrong. Fragility forced adaptation." He explained how humans lived under constant pressure. How pain was not a warning, but a companion. How failure was expected and planned for. "They are not careless," he said. "They are prepared." Questions followed quickly. Are humans aggressive? Are they unstable? Should contact be limited? The doctor answered each calmly. No, no. And yes, but not for the reasons you think. The council leaned forward. Humans do not seek conflict, he said. But conflict shaped them. That sentence spread far and wide. Meanwhile, the human involved in the scans was moved to a civilian area of the station. No guards. No isolation field. Aliens watched him from a distance, some with curiosity, some with unease. The human noticed. He always did. To him, this was familiar. He had seen that look on Earth many times. The look people had right before they realized they were wrong. An alien child pointed at him once. "Is he dangerous?" the child asked. The Guardian hesitated. "Not unless he has to be," she replied. That answer surprised even her. As days passed, policies began to change. Human study programs were paused. Invasive testing was banned. New contact rules were written. Not out of kindness, out of caution. Military analysts added their voices. If human biology could endure this much stress, what could human soldiers endure? The answer made them uncomfortable. One analyst wrote in his report, "Human bodies are designed to keep functioning after damage. This suggests a combat endurance far beyond standard models." The report was classified, but not fast enough. The alien doctor read the final council decision in private. It was short, clear. Humans are not to be treated as fragile life forms. They are to be treated as survivors of extreme conditions. He leaned back in his chair. This was bigger than medicine now. Later, the doctor met the human again. "You changed how the galaxy sees your kind," he said. The human shook his head. "I didn't do anything," he replied. "You just looked closer." The doctor nodded slowly. "That may have been the mistake," he said. "Not looking sooner." Messages arrive from distant systems. Requests for dialogue. Requests for cultural exchange. Requests for limits. Humans were suddenly interesting. And slightly frightening. The doctor recorded one last personal note. "I laughed at human biology," he said softly. "Because I thought survival required comfort." He sighed. But humans survived without comfort at all. He ended the recording with a quiet truth. Any species that lives this long on a world that wants them dead should never be underestimated. Somewhere deep in alien space, a phrase began to circulate. Not officially, not written in law, but remembered. If humans are calm, be polite. If humans are silent, be careful. The galaxy was learning. Slowly. The decision reached every star system within a single cycle. Not as a warning, not as an order, as a correction. Humanity was reclassified. No longer low-risk, no longer medically fragile. No longer something to laugh at. The new words were careful and precise. Humans, extreme survivors of a hostile world. That single sentence changed how the galaxy looked at one small blue planet. The alien doctor read the final classification alone in his office. He replayed the first recording of himself, laughing. The sound made him uncomfortable now. He remembered how easy it had been to judge. How natural it felt to assume weakness meant failure. He had not understood something simple. Humans were not poorly designed. They were over-tested. Across the galaxy, medical academies updated their lessons. Human biology became a special case study. Not for perfection, for endurance. Students learned how human cells repaired constant damage, how their immune systems fought endlessly, how pain was not a signal to stop, but a condition to work through. One instructor said it best: most species avoid harm. Humans expect it. That sentence stayed with many. Human representatives were invited to the council again. This time, there were no scanners. No restraints. No silent observers behind glass. Just conversation. One counselor asked a careful question. "If your world is so dangerous," she said, "why do you stay?" The human delegate thought for a moment. "Because it's ours," he replied. "And because we learned how to live there." The room was quiet. Not because the answer was threatening, because it was honest. The alien doctor stood nearby, listening. He noticed something now that he had missed before. Humans did not brag. They did not exaggerate. They stated facts, the way survivors always do plainly. New rules were written. Human medical studies would be voluntary. Human soldiers would not be tested without consent. Human worlds would be approached carefully. Not out of fear, out of respect. On the station where it had all begun, the doctor met the human patient one last time. "You changed many minds," the doctor said. The human shook his head. "No," he replied. "You did?" The doctor smiled faintly. "I laughed," he admitted. "That was my failure." The human studied him for a second. "People laugh when they don't understand," he said. "Earth taught us that." The doctor nodded. "That may be the most dangerous thing about your species," he said. The human raised an eyebrow. "Our biology?" he asked. The doctor shook his head. "No," he replied. "Your patience." As the human ship departed the station, no alarms sounded. No scanners followed. Just open space. The alien doctor watched it disappear into the stars. He realized something then. Humans did not scare the galaxy because they were unstoppable. They scared it because they had stopped themselves so many times already. Years later, the doctor would teach a new class. He would show his students the scans that once made him laugh. Then he would tell them the truth. Humans are not strong because they are built better, he would say. They are strong because their world never forgave mistakes and they adapted anyway. He would end every lecture the same way. If you meet a human, he would say, do not test them to see how much they can endure. He would pause. They already know. Far beyond the station, Earth continued as it always had. Storms still raged. Disease still existed. Gravity still pulled hard. Humans still lived. Still healed. Still endured. The final galactic record added one quiet note beneath humanity's classification. It was not written in law. It was written in understanding. A species that survives a death world does not need to prove itself. The laughter was gone now, replaced by something far more permanent. Respect. And the galaxy slept a little easier, knowing one thing. Humans did not want to be tested. But if they ever were, they would survive that too.